Good morning, everyone. This is Vinod from Tally ERP9 Snippet, representing iSelf Academy for the third video in Tally Snippet channel. In this video, we are about to see how to work around with the menus and what are the menus available in Tally. And we are going to give you an introduction on what are the features and what is configuration available in Tally. In today's session, you will see how to work with the menus. And when I get into the menu, you can see that I have the first screen of Tally. So this is what the first screen of Tally in most of the situation. Again, if you haven't have any default companies configured into a system, if you configured your default company or the first company that exists in your database, then your screen will be this. You'll be seeing this is the first screen, not the one which I showed you. This. This is basically happens because of your configuration setups and the features and the other logics that you are adding to your data part. Now let me just get into the menu and show you what are the menus available in Tally for our usage and how we are going to use them and what is the use of them. So when I get into the select company, I'm going to choose the first company. This is the menu that I have here. This is a default menu that I have in Tally, and I never defined which or what kind of an industry that I'm working for that company part. Because when I create a company, the first screen of the Tally will look like this. Then I will define what sort of industry that I'm getting into. Am I dealing with a trading company or am I dealing with a service organization? So if I'm dealing with a trading company, then I might be dealing with inventories too. I will maintain stock. I may manufacture it or I may buy and sell it. There are two different ways of doing trading companies. Other part is a service orientation company where we don't generally deal with inventories unless otherwise it is really required. But again, inventory will not be a major part when it comes to a service organization. So at that time, our screen will be a little different. So how do you set that one? So these are the components that we are going to see. So first, let me just clear about the menus. Then I'll teach you how to switch them to a trading company or from the trading company to a service company. When I deal with Tally, I have 4 menus here: masters, transaction, utilities, and reports. In the masters, I can build the masters. But before I do create the master component, I have to define what kind of an industry that I'm working on. Am I a trader or I'm a service provider? If I'm a service provider, I'm selling not the goods but the services. Then I may not or I don't really require an inventory part in the system. Just for a moment, let me jump this component or jump the screen from an inventory-based company to a service-based company. So to do that, I'll go to F11 feature. Then I'll go to accounting feature. I'll set the first line as yes. This says maintain accounts only. So here I'm going to just maintain accounting part alone. I'm not going to deal with the inventory part. When I give an OK, you can see that the next line is automatically got grayed out. You can see integrate account and inventory is all grayed out. But if I make this as no, you can see that the grayed out is back again. So the first option changes the company's nature from a trading to a service organization. So you can see that now you will see only the accounting information, no inventories are given. All my inventory related masters, inventory related transaction, inventory related reports will all be disappearing once I switch that particular accounting only mode activated. If I want to bring it back again, so I'm going to press an F11 again and then go back to my feature, set this as no, and I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm going to save it. So now I get my inventory back. So to work around in Tally, I've jumped it from one point. So when I come down to this list or when I come down to my first point, when I made this as yes, then I just did one keyboard shortcut to save the screen. Generally, if you're using a Microsoft application or most of the other application, you Control yes to save it. In Tally, if you want to save anything, you have to use a keyboard shortcut called Control A. So Control A allows you to save the screen, and then when you give an escape, you'll come back to the previous screen. If you want to go into a screen again, F11 accounting feature, make this as no, Control A to save it. Then you give a one escape, you can come back to the first screen again where you can see them very clearly. So this is your menus, and when I come back to this point, now I just showed you the difference between a trading company with an inventory, a service company without an inventory. So this is our master screen where you can create all our basic masters. I'll be giving a video next on how to build a balance sheet or how to build a previous year balance sheet in the new years as an opening balance. So I'm going to show you that how to feed an opening balance in Tally. And if you are having a stock details also, you can do that. If you are maintaining everything in Tally, we don't manually feed them. We will bifurcate the company or break the company or split the company into two and get the respective headers from the previous year to carry forward for the next year. But if you are new to Tally and if you are using Tally for the very first time or you're converting the data from some other software to this software and you have to manually feed or something like that comes into play, then you can feed them here. It is not required that you have to feed them. You can even import the data using a third-party vendor software, or you can even use the Tally definition language, TDL, to support that for you. So how much you are ready to spend and what you want to do it, how much of the time that you have, are you really trying to fiddle around with Tally to know more about Tally? Probably people will buy Tally maybe at the end of the financial year, and then they will sit and learn how to go forward, and then from the next year they will maintain Tally's accounting because they will have a system in place. They will say this is what the implementation style that I'm going to follow. These are the components that I want from Tally. This is what I'm relying on for Tally, and so on will come into play. Many people rely Tally for invoicing generally. Very few people use it for compliances, but again, I saw people use Tally in and out for everything that they do. They maintain payroll, they maintain all the statutory details, they do all the accounting part for you, they maintain the entire inventories either. All of them comes really, really well. So people who use extensively on what they have invested on, people use half the way on this software, something else might be an interesting one for them. So for that, they will maintain another software. So somebody will have more than one software in place to see how the data are going on and what is their other component comes into play, how to do the aging analysis. Everything is there and available in Tally. But again, people are reluctant to use Tally to that extent because they are a little scared. Number one is people think the data kept at Tally is a little vulnerable. But again, I'm not sure about that because if you can able to maintain the backup, all softwares are vulnerable to any problems. So you will not say that if when I buy a particular software, it will never create a bug to me. It never happens. The best of the best. Every phone is getting upgraded. Every app is getting upgraded. The same way every system gets upgraded. So you will see what is a flaw, what is a bug that comes into play, you improvise that. So that's how the product enhances and becomes better, and Tally does that for 30 plus years now. So they are the best in what they do. Again, we have a much more easier software compared to Tally nowadays, so and even cheaper in cost basis compared to Tally. So people switches to those softwares. Again, if you are happy to work on this part, you can do it because I'm using this for quite some time right now. Now I'm using it for almost 17 plus years. From 2002, I'm using Tally, and I wrote 3 books in it. You can see it's going to give you a lot of things in the list. So again, when I go back to my inventory part, I can create the following inventory masters. Accounting transactions can be fed in here, and if you want to maintain the inventory component, inventory transaction can be handled here. And the best of the part is you can create a balance sheet in a horizontal way, and if you want a vertical balance sheet, a Schedule 6 format, you can still get that in Tally itself. You have to build it once you've finished your Tally's vertical balance sheet or a horizontal balance sheet. You can bring it to a vertical balance sheet so you can see that a Schedule 6 format can be added to our list. You can see this is going to go really well, and then you can just drill down and feed the data here and add the data here. You can see that the breakups are coming according to the Company Act 2013, and you can see that how you are going to define them, where you're going to define them, and you're going to follow accounting standards and Ind AS in all the provisions possible, and you can see all of them are mentioned here. If you can able to maintain these components correctly, and if you know the component correctly, you can see them all very, very clearly. This is the basics breakup that we have in our Schedule 6 format. When we're creating this, we have to only just coin that in the Schedule 6 format so that we get all our menus. These are the menus available in Tally for us. Now we are about to switch to the next logic called F11 feature and F12 configuration. When I get into F11 features, so the F11 features are the feature which affects the company which you activate. If you are going to add any feature to this company, it's going to affect only the company which you have activated the feature. It's not going to affect the other companies which is there available in your list of companies here. But when I come to a configuration, the configurations have a different logic because I'm configuring the system to adopt. So when I configure something to one system or one company, the same configuration lies to the other companies also. As I'm using a single user, it's going to affect my company. But if you're using a multi-user, it's going to affect from the server to other client systems. And if you make a change in your client system, sometimes it reflects even in the server too. So configuration changes the entire way the entire accountings have been booked or added or adjusted. Features are an additional point that you want to add to a system. You might require a budget to be added. You might require to a cost center, profit center to be added to my accounting, or you want to have batch-wise details for maintaining of expiry dated product, and you can create a BOM, bill of material for the raw material and manufacturing journals can be added to a list. So you can add anything and everything that you want in a list. When I go to the feature, I'm going to press F11 here, so that jumps to my feature screen. You can see I have 3 features generally. 4th of the features, which is something which is based on the people who use add-ins from our TDL programming. So when I get into the accounting part, you can see all the accounting features comes into play and inventory, and you can see the statutory part. So probably once you download Tally, probably you will get a more idea about it. And if you are going for an add-on, you can either shop it from Tally shop itself. So I think it is the cheapest to most cheapest to TDL program that you have. If you are using a single user, the cost is going to be very small. And you have the headers coming up here, and you can use them for a 3-day trial version here. And once you are satisfied with the product, you can definitely use them all. So you can see that it is going by category wise. You have invoice and voucher configuration. You have 208 add-ons, 157 add-ons, and so on for each and every logics here. Or if you're so specific, you know that, for example, when I get into Tally, I want to get customer-wise price list. So do I have a list like that? So I'm going to just come back to my search bar, and I'm going to just say customer-wise price list. So when you give a search point, then it's going to search, and it can show you a party-wise stock group category price list. So price list in stock summary, supplier price list. So you can see that there is a different set of prices comes into play. Generally in Tally, we have prices only for the items, not for the customer supplier. If you are looking for such a things here, you can buy it for 283 rupees. That's for a year of cost for you, and this is going to be for a single user. Probably if you get into this one, you'll get a much better details for here. So what is the usage? How you use it? You get a manual here, and you can try this for 3 days. They'll give you a 3-day pack for you, and then you can see that if you are buying a new license, the cost of this. If you are renewing the one which you bought already, so it's going to be even cheaper for you. If you're jumping from one software to the software you've used earlier in a single user, but now I want to convert it to a multi-user, then you pay the difference between these two, probably in this list, and then pay the rest of them. So it also shows you that who all can use this particular add-on, from which version it is effectively usable. So you can see that also. So if you're adding a new add-on from the features, so you can always add it. I think that I had one add-on recently, so I tried to add prices to my list. I just got a 3-day trial, and then I'm not so keen about it. I just gave it to somebody else there. One of my customer required to show it to me, so I just showed him there. So at the time I just added it to my system, so you can buy an add-ons also. The same way, we have one more dimension that's called configuration. As I told you, configuration is what? When I get into configuration, I have a lot of configuration. I can go to the generic configurations. I can go for master configuration and voucher entry configuration, and I can go for an invoice configurations, even payroll, banking. Even when I print, I can set a configuration here. Email configurations. If I want to transfer the data to somebody else, set up data configuration if I have multiple data. if I'm syncing the data in multiple location, we call this a synchronization. For that, we have a classification. You can see the products coming up here, and you can maintain your license. As I have a single user license edition, if I want, I can just switch this to a multi-user edition for a few days. For example, I'm trying to work with multiple people. I'm connecting this in a network, and then want to convert this into a multi-user. Then I can use them. But the period will become less. When I try to create this, it will show you a small message like this. If I'm having a single user, I've activated it. I want to convert this for a moment of multi-user. Then the life of single user goes for 30 days on a renewal part. That will become 10 days for you if it is converted into a multi-user. In simple, what is the cost that you pay for single user will be triple the cost for the multi-user component. So this is how our configuration point works for us. In our next video, I'm going to just give you a small idea about how to feed a balance sheet or how to add up an opening balances to our company, then continue our transactions. That's what we are about to see in our subsequent video. Hope you enjoy my video. Today we have learned how to work around with menus and what are the uses of it, and I just showed you a small tip and trick of features and configuration and how to use Tally Shop, and you can buy them, I can use them also, and I'm going to activate each and every feature as and how I go and see a report. Hope you enjoy my video. Subscribe it, share it with as many people as you can. If you are not an accounting background person, please share it to people who are going as an undergraduate, who are learning things, and who are pursuing a commerce degree in any stream. This particular will be a stepping stone for them. They will learn a lot of logic about bookkeeping. And those who are subscribing my channel, please send your emails to this my email ID. So I'm going to just say, so that I'll forward the PDF for you as I promised earlier. So you can add this. You can see my email address. This is my email address where you can add your email IDs to me so that I can add the PDFs to you. So please mail your address. So I'll add the PDF for the volume 1 book. Those who are not subscribed, please subscribe it. Like my channel, comment, and learn a lot about Tally in my subsequent video. I'll be releasing at least 2 more videos tomorrow with this list. So today I'm recording it a day before right now. So I'll be adding videos on accounting masters and inventory masters in our list. I will even give you a small exercises attached to my Excel sheet. I will add it. If you want these Excel sheets to be seen, then you can just mail me. I'll forward this. If you get the book, you get everything in one shot. If you want only the respective inventory component or respective balance sheet to be fed, then I can send them separately too. Hope you enjoy my video. Happy learning. Stay safe. Stay at home. Thank you so much. This is Vinod signing out from Tally ERP9 Snippet on behalf of iSelf Academy. Thank you.